Okay, my favorite personal song right now is "The Blessing" by Carrie Joe.
Oh,
I love
that's a good one.
It's a really good song.
Yeah.
Okay. What is one thing you are good at?
I don't know. If you know, let me know.
Singing.
There you go. I'm good at singing.
Preaching.
There you go. I'm good at preaching. See?
Speaking
There.
the truth.
Speaking the truth.
Oh,
Oh,
Look at anybody else? Oh! Keep it
Growing
coming.
pan.
okay, next. No, I'm just kidding. What did he say? Eating.
You heard
I'm
it here
not cutting
first.
that out.
It'd be your own kids. Not cool at all.
Give it to her now.
I can't. Eating. That's a really good.
Singing, preaching,
Hype
playing
girl.
the piano.
Playing the piano.
And she learns the piano really fast. You can get a song down like that.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
She don't care.
I think I'm just gonna put this out there because all my friends are around me.
We all made a face.
I think I'm really good at just like giving my friends and family entertainment, making them laugh,
Next.
Anyway,
putting a smile on their
Okay,
face.
give the
See,
mic
look
away
at all
now.
these people smiling. You see? It's a talent.
I don't know what I'm good at.
baking.
Oh, chocolate covered strawberries.
Your eyeliner.
Her
Thank
eyes
you.
are consistently like that for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
For years.
Thank you.
I think she's humble too.
Oh,
I think she's very humble. She
Yeah.
doesn't even realize how humble she is.
But you also got to be careful because if she's gonna whip you, she will.
Like,
Those quiet ones.
Only when they make me mad.
Yeah.
you got a PSA you want to share?
No, 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 no. No, I'm scared. I know.
Go ahead, Yvonne.
Next time.
Next time.
Okay. How would you describe yourself in 3 words? Not sentences, 3 words.
I don't even know. Funny,
Uh-huh.
charming, beautiful. Only 3 words?
Only 3.
Jeez. This is a hoax, man. 3 words. I do think chill. So chill or easygoing, whichever word you want to use. Easygoing. Oh, okay, yeah, maybe easygoing, loyal, kind, depending on who you are.
I'm gonna say kind, like Alyssa said, easygoing. I'm gonna say beautiful.
Woo!
Go ahead.
Andrew, shout!
That's not my hand back there.
Okay, next one. What is the most outrageous thing you have ever done that you will never do again? Something that can be posted.
This is embarrassing. I was translating for my dad, and my dad had $10 words in Spanish that I don't understand. And I was translating for him, and I said a word, and I'm so glad I didn't say the other word. But I'll tell you the word I said, and I said what was it? Exceptional or something like that. It was something that was not a word because I looked it up.
She made it up.
And I made it up, but the video I clipped, I said it with full confidence.
Send me the clip and we'll add it in here.
I will send it to you because it is not a word at all.
Cuando nosotros estamos en algún proyecto de nuestra vida,
when we are in a project of our life,
lo empezamos porque queremos tener éxito.
we start it because we want excellence.
Amén, hermano.
Amen.
Queremos ser personas exitosas.
We want to be essential people.
Nosotros, por muchas de las veces,
And I was so embarrassed because it was when I was starting to barely start translating. But I said it so bold and so like I knew what I was talking about that I don't think anybody knew
I'm
it
not
wasn't
gonna
a
say
word.
it in here. No. Oh man, that's hard. Something outrageous that I will never do again. Oh man, I don't know, man. I really don't have any regrets, so I really can't think of anything. I do think that when I did the like skydiving, bungee jumping thing, I do think that was a one-time thing. It was fun, good experience. I don't think I feel the need to do it again. You know,
Mm, what's the most outrageous thing you have ever done that you will never do again that you can say on here?
Okay, I can't say it then.
Okay.
And let me clarify, when I said no regrets, doesn't mean I was proud of those things, but I mean that it's led me to where I am now as part of the journey. Let me clarify.
Carrie, where would you love to travel to? By the way, don't ever go to Bali, Indonesia.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I actually was telling my husband that I want to travel to Alaska, and we want to go to get the salmon, Alaskan salmon. We want to fish for Alaskan salmon and Alaskan king crab, and go on like a little tour. And also, I don't know why, but I've always wanted to go to Canada, and I want to go to the Niagara Falls on both sides. So those are two places I would want to travel to.
Okay, I have a lot, but I'm just going to name one.
Good.
Now I'm going to name 5. No! I always have wanted to go to like the South, like Southern, like Louisiana, because I want to try real Southern food. Go to Jimmy Swaggart's church, even though he's not there anymore. Try beignets. So yeah, I would love to go to the South, like New Orleans and all that.
They're accepting travel tickets.
I would love to go to Hawaii because Alyssa's always talking about it. Her mom's always talking about it. Judy just recently went and she talked about it, and it just sounds and looks so beautiful. So I would love to go to Hawaii. Okay.
We're all gonna go.
Hawaii.
We're all going.
Okay. What has the Lord been teaching you, I guess, lately? It just says, what has the Lord been teaching you?
To not speak upon reaction. It's so easy for me personally to feel like everything that I think I have to say out loud, and I've been embarrassed by it, and I've had to learn how to be still and listen. So that's just a season of my life, but I also need to train my face to do the same, because sometimes it gives attitude, and I need to control it just like I have to control what I say.
I think that for me, I think it was last week when I was praying about like one of the prayers I feel like I've been praying for like a long time. I had like basically said like, okay, Lord, like I place it in your hands. And I feel like I told him, or like he asked me, like, well, have you really? And then I was thinking about it, and it was like, I just heard it in my spirit clear as day. Like, if we give something to the Lord and we place it in his hands, like it stays there. We don't keep picking it back or like taking it back out of like our own worries, fears, or our need for control. Like if we give it over to him, leave it in his hands. If he chooses to give the answer back to you, then that's up to him. So that was just kind of a revelation. So I think just waiting on the Lord, but not by like saying it like only like, oh, I'm waiting on you, Lord, I trust you, but really I think letting go of the control and worry.
What has the Lord been teaching you, like recently?
To be patient and to control my anger, because I'm a very angry person, but he's like, girl, you got to control it. And I'm a very reactive person, especially when people mess with my family and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. How do you handle criticism from people?
I don't. I try not to let it affect me, although sometimes it will. It will get in my head and I will ponder on it. And if I don't go back to the word and read what it says against that, then I speak it over myself, and it's harmed me more than it's done good for me. So I try to not think about that, or when if there is criticism, I try to look at the brighter side. Well, maybe in a sense how they said it was not right, but maybe it has some truth, like, if it's like a correction thing. I try to just see the brighter side of it rather than it just being about me personally.
For me, I think it depends who it's coming from and like how. So like former people pleaser, so I still struggle with that, like just feeling the need to like always want to keep everyone happy all the time, never like hurt anyone's feelings or just accept like everything that everyone tells me. So now, like my current state, I think that again, it depends who and like how it's, and if it's constructive criticism, like it's hard to hear sometimes, but I think it, I do try to take it. If it's from someone that I just feel like is kind of being malicious and they're being like critical, because that's different, right? When you're just like criticizing everything without, because you're just being, a certain type of way. I just kind of let it roll off my shoulders. So yeah, and take it to the Lord. Kind of again, one of those things of leaving it there.
Okay. Have you ever wished, and I'm not sure if if it was written correctly or if I'm not reading it right. Have you ever wished you didn't want to be a pastor's child? Have you ever wished you didn't want to be a pastor's child?
I understand the question. Um, Sometimes, not recently or anything, but I think because the social pressures of being a pastor's kid, it can get overwhelming. And depending also on how you are as a person. Some people are like, whatever, I don't care, I'm going to do my thing, even though my parents are pastors and it doesn't affect them any which how. But I think if you're more of an emotional person, it does affect you. And sometimes you do also get a lot of comparison to your parents. Um, they say, oh, wow, and it's not always bad either, but sometimes it's like when you want to have your own individuality where it's like, oh, your parents sing really good, so you sing really good. But it's like, well, can I just be singing really good because God gave me that talent? But I don't not wish I wasn't. I feel like the experiences of life were completely different. I didn't have a normal grow up, like other people did. There were things that other people could do that we couldn't do. There was more limitations. You always feel like you missed out on something, but I think everybody kind of goes through that, whether you're a pastor's kid or not.
I think that there has been, I don't know about pastors' kids specifically, because I said that's been like the last few years. So I don't think so during that time, but I do think there's been times, like more so when I was backslidden, that I wish like my family like wasn't in ministry as much as they were, or that, you know what I mean? That I don't know. I just feel like my family, and not in like a bragging way, but they're just very well known. Even if like my mom, not as a pastor, but as like in ministry, my family, they've had the church for years. So I just felt like it was like the all eyes on us, or it's like, man, like we can't ever just have, like a weekend, or you know what I mean? Or it's like always this or always that. So I think in that sense, but pastor's kid, like, no, I don't think I've ever wished that I wasn't.
Sometimes it's just very hard. It was just very hard. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay. As a pastor or slash parent, or pastors that are parents, mistakes are made. What is something you can mention today that you forgive your parents for? Alyssa's face.
You write this question?
Who asked this?
I wrote all of these on, I copied and pasted them all.
Repeat that question one more time.
As pastor, parents, mistakes are made. What is something you can mention today that you forgive your parents for?
I want to start off with saying that it's not something that they might have known that they did. It was more of how I felt that it was. So it's not anything that I'm like, oh, they did this, so I'm forgiving them.
It was at the moment.
At the moment, I felt like as a person, as an individual, I feel like I'm very emotional. And I do remember one time I was speaking with one of my parents and I was asking why I would feel sad a lot. I went through depression a lot, and I know their reaction was, of course, to mention, that God is a God of joy, of peace, of the good things, but I didn't understand it. And it was a time where I felt like I was trying to figure out why I was feeling that way and if it was normal. And it was just, well, you shouldn't feel that way. Like it was wrong to feel that way. So I know I remember specifically saying, okay, so if I'm not supposed to feel that way, then why God didn't make me like a robot to not have emotions? Again, I am a very emotional person, so I didn't understand that then. Now, obviously, I see it in a different perspective, and I ask myself the same questions. Like, if my kids say, well, I feel mad all the time, or if I feel sad all the time, how I would respond to that in a way that makes them feel like I see what they're feeling without me having to fully understand it. And I think that that was the biggest thing for me because it kind of became like a thing for me to understand is like, well, why am I feeling like this? Like nobody could tell me necessarily why I was feeling like this, but it wasn't their job to really tell me why I was feeling that way. But I always just remember that because it was just the emotion that I had all the time and I didn't know why. And it was very confusing. And I feel like, well, if that's all they're going to tell me, that doesn't give me any answers. So it's not something, again, like that they did to me. They probably didn't really think anything of it. But to me, I took it really hard because I was trying to figure out why I felt that way.
Hmm. Let me think.
She's gonna cry.
Oh, whoever sent this question in. I don't know. Like different things come to mind. Obviously, can't like share everything on camera. Like let me just say, my parents have always been like really good parents, but people are human. Let me be the first to say, I have hurt my parents like many, many times with my words, with my actions, many times over the years. So it's not like it wasn't just, it wasn't just them. It's not like I'm not trying to talk smack about my parents, but all parents, no matter who, like make mistakes. So, just different things. I think growing up, like when my dad was backslidden and different things, like I held that against him for a long time just because I wasn't saved. Thank you. So now that I'm saved, it's such obviously a blessing that he is saved. But at the time I was backslidden, so when he got saved, I was like upset, and he told me like, well, like now things are different. I'm saved, and I basically told him like, nope, like I don't accept that, and I was just really mad. And I just had a really hard heart, just like towards people, I think in general, to my family. And I just think like because I always have been a kind of easygoing person and I'm very private and I could, not in a bad way, but I could hide a lot. Just like I could, I just can go through things on my own, like not in a bad way. So I just felt like they didn't see a lot of the signs, but it wasn't because of them. It's because I hid it really, really well. So they wouldn't have known different things were going on in my own life personally or internally. So I've had to learn like a lot of that stuff. But I just will wrap it up by saying, all of us have, different things that we all have in our family from the past to now. But I am thankful that my parents are really like good parents and that the Lord is like has done a work in our family and is continuing to do a work in our family.
What was the question?
As parents or pastors, they make mistakes. What is something you can mention today that you actually forgive your parents for? So like a mistake that they made.
Yeah. I can't think of anything right now.
They were perfect. No, I'm just kidding.
Right?
I'm just
Not
kidding.
I can't think of anything from the top of my head right now, so I'm gonna have to skip this question again.
Okay. We're almost done.
We're almost done.
We're almost done.
These are really good questions, by the way.
A lot of people sent really good
They're
questions.
just, the thing is, we didn't know what the questions were going to be.
You knew some only.
We knew some,
Yeah.
but they were very surface level questions. these deeper questions really like, I mean, it brings up things that I haven't even thought of in years.
Yeah.
And so like it resurfacing, you're like, wait, like what's happening? At least for me, that's why I'm like, oh my gosh, like I didn't even think about that, you know. So it's just kind of a lot. We're
Do
all
you feel
kind
like
of,
it's a healing though? At
in
the
a
same
way,
time?
I think a lot of these things is we've probably never said out loud.
Mhm.
And we've probably kept it inside. That's what we're all kind of going through, like our emotional thing, you know, because it is hard, but it's not something that's you can pinpoint. Every pastor's kid has a different experience with their parents, so it's like what my heart isn't hard for her or for Yvonne, you know. So that's why we're all kind of, I don't know. It's just a lot of emotions going on, I think.
But I think it's also a way to shame the enemy of things that did happen, but now you're bringing to light saying God is either healing me, going to heal me, or has already done the work in me for somebody else. What do you admire most about each other? One thing.
Oh, that's a good one. What I
You're going to
admire
start with Alyssa or Yvonne?
with Alyssa, because she's right here. What I admire, and then I'll cry later. What I admire most of Alyssa is, okay, maybe I'll cry sooner. I think that when you go through something really hard, like losing relatives that are really close to you, it's hard in itself, okay? But I will say, I have seen Alyssa grow so much. And it's been really beautiful to see. It's very admiring because there was no hesitation on helping her mom. It was, I'm going to help you. And I think that that is what God calls us to do is, you know what? I don't know how we're going to figure it out, but we're going to figure it out together. And it was a lot for even her mom to take on, and the family in general, you know, to carry such a big legacy so fast. And I just admire that Alyssa has really stepped up and grown in a lot of areas. Sometimes I feel like she's even older than I am because she just took on everything so well. And I know maybe it's me on the outside, you know, because she obviously goes through her own stuff, but I feel like seeing her even remembering us being teenagers and goofing off and stuff like to how she is now, like it's very beautiful to see how far she's come. And you know, it's beautiful because you see the growth. And if you know Alyssa personally, you know that she's funny and goofy, but when it comes to the things of God, she means business. And that's what her grandma was like and her mom, and now she is. So I think that that's very beautiful to see. And now for Yvonne,
Thank you.
I think that what I really admire from her is that she's very honest and very real. And I think for me, it's harder to be that way because I like to hide a lot of what I feel. Um, and she's grown so much as a person, and I really look up to her because she is a lot of what I'm not. And I think that because her being my older sister and you know me seeing her, like I've always been like, man, I wish I did this like Yvonne, you know. She just has such a big heart and she's very considerate of people, and sometimes I feel like, man, I'm not considerate enough. And you know, I really admire her big heart, and she just loves, like when she loves you, when Yvonne loves you, it's like the most beautiful thing ever. She just has a way of accepting you, and and a lot of people say, well, she looks mean. You know, a lot of people will tell her, well, I wasn't gonna talk to you because you look like you're mean.
You better give her Kleenex.
But when you get to know her, she's just this like beautiful flower, you know, that's just like she's so meek and so humble, and she will bake the best treats and the best desserts because she makes them with love and with care, and she's very caring. So yeah, that's what I admire from her, my big sister.
Man, Judy. Oh my gosh. I just feel like it's gonna be crying from the here on out, man. Uh, okay, I'll start with Judy.
I didn't write that one, by the way.
Okay. Huh?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh gosh. So I'll start with Judy. Judy just like I really admire like so much for let me just say, like before I begin, I admire so much about both of them that I can't even put it all into words. But Judy, her like what comes to mind, her boldness for the Lord. I just feel like so bold for the Lord and will like speak the truth and like your willingness to serve, how you said, especially in the last 2 years, like things where I'm like, man, like I should be saying yes to that. Like, you know what I mean? No matter of like how like I may feel, but like how you just say yes, even if you feel nervous. I think that's just so beautiful. Like just truly a servant's heart. And I just think like how real you've always been, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they're like in conversations or in different things, or like when I've shared things like personally with you or vice versa, just very, just real and authentic, very genuine, right? Like it's like nothing like fake and just like always being there, you know, even if we could go like weeks or months or whatever without maybe seeing each other. It's just when we do, it just like picks right back up. And I think seeing you too as a mom, like it, now I'm gonna get emotional. Like seeing you as a mom, just how you said, going from teenager, and actually when I met you guys, a literal kid, and just all the things that we have gone through that we would share in those rooms together where we'd cry or, you know, just different things. And to seeing you as a mom and as like a woman of God is just so beautiful. And I just love it seeing like the love that you put into them, how you teach them the things of God. It's just it's beautiful, and yeah. So I could keep going on and on all day, but that's some of it. And then for Yvonne, Yvonne is like we call each other twins. Because it's just like we think the same a lot of times, or just find the same things funny, even if no one else finds them funny.
No one else.
No one else finds it funny.
They laugh and wheeze together.
We just laugh and wheeze together, yeah. But Yvonne, like, I think how like Judy said, like your heart is just so big, and like I think not a lot of people get to see it. And I just, you know what I mean? I think just seeing who you truly are, like the real you, like so loving, and the care, like that you put even, and I really admire how you listen. I feel like when I can just, as we know, talk and talk and talk. So just even before, like whenever, from when I was young or teenager to now, whenever I've brought up like anything to you or shared anything personal going on in my life or problem, you just listen. And I could tell it's not just being like silent listening, but like you're genuinely listening. And like I feel like you're not judgmental at all. Like I feel like anything that I tell you, like you have never judged me. And I think that your heart is really beautiful. You've always been there, like just a very good friend. Like one time, I just have to share this story about Yvonne to lighten the mood a little bit about her loyalty, and she don't play about the people she loves. Okay, it was at the old house, and they used to have these neighbors. Okay, and one time, one time I was standing outside the car. I think we were gonna go like eat, and it was during the week. I think it was on one of my breaks.
Surprise, we're gonna go eat.
Yeah, we were going to eat, and I think that everybody was like gone doing something because it was a weekday. I think like Sister and Pastor Marcos were at work. I don't know where Judy was, maybe asleep. I think you were asleep, and the neighbor, I was standing at the car waiting for Yvonne because we were going to go eat. And the neighbor like started yelling at me. I don't even know for what. I was just standing there, man. And then I was like stunned because I didn't even know what she was saying. And Yvonne came out the house and she was like, "What did she say to you?" And she turned to the neighbor. She's like, "Don't be talking to her like that." And she just like, without even thinking, right? Like she just jumped into like defend me. And I just feel like that is, even though it's a funny story, it's really a reflection of who she is. Like, if she loves you, she will have your back 110%. And like, without thinking, she will, I think, just a protector. That's what I think. And I'm very blessed to know both of you and love you both. You guys are, like my sisters. So yeah.
What do you admire most about each of them?
I'm not really good at saying or speaking, as you guys are going to see in this video. I'm embarrassed.
You're good. You're just a woman of few words.
I'm more of a shower, so I'm just gonna say that I love you guys and you guys are amazing. And I love you guys so much. I don't know what else to say.
No, that's good right there.
Testing.
We've had to change the post, people.
Oh, she's back.
Never mind. Our host is back. Oh, never mind.
What has been the best advice your parents have given you?
That's kind of hard. That's a little bit of a hard one because there's not one I can pinpoint. There's been so many that have gone with me throughout, all my years.
What you just have?
I can't pause it.
What is something your parents did as a child that strengthened your relationship with God?
But I don't understand it. Like, they
So-
did when I was a child?
I'm going to assume that it is something that they did when you were a child.
They did
That
with
maybe
me.
was something like a foundation or something
even
that
if,
maybe
like,
I don't know.
allowed you to.
They said the question.
We're just gonna reinterpret that as something that they did when we were children that we
Mhm.
saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
That helped strengthen your relationship with God.
I think that they always prayed. Like, for everything, they prayed. Like, even if to me it seemed like a minor inconvenience or something that was, not a big deal, they prayed about it. Like, every single thing was prayer. They heard, a noise that their car made that it didn't make the day before, they prayed. Like things like that, where it's like, oh, they were out of breath that day, they prayed. Because something's coming, they gotta pray against it. Like that, like everything that I was like, you're just probably out of breath. Like, they're like, no, I'm praying against it. I'm praying against that, or I rebuke that. For everything, which taught me that, it is possible to pray without ceasing. Like, whenever even I think of it now, it's like, how can I pray? Like, I feel like I run out of things to pray about. But when I start thinking of all the things that I have, the blessings, every little thing, every detail in my life, I'm like, oh, I could pray. Giving thanks is a prayer, asking God for healing, is a prayer. So I think just putting that and seeing them do that, it showed me that they knew who they were trusting in. And it showed me that I know who I can trust in, because he will always show up no matter when.
What was I going to say? Okay. 3 things, but I'm not going to go into detail with all of them because it'll be a long time. Number 1, I do think, even though my dad got saved when I was a teenager, but still, like, growing up, but my mom, like, especially like my mom, my grandparents, and then my dad, when he did get saved, hearing them pray in the rooms, and not like where they would say, oh, I'm gonna go pray, and you would just hear the music. No, I'm talking about like speaking in tongues. Like, growing up, always hearing people speak in tongues. They would shut the door to their room and be in there for for a good amount of time and just praying. And I think just that alone was very impactful. And then the other thing was church attendance. We did not miss for, unless it was a really big, important family event, we did not miss for anything. Like they were like, nope, these are the days we have church. Like, sorry, we're not missing. We're going. If there was events on Saturdays, again, unless it was a very, very important family event or something outside, nope, we're going to church. So I think just really instilling like faithfulness to church, how important it is, I think really was impactful. And the last thing was casting spirits out of our home constantly, because my house was like haunted when I was younger. Yeah, the little girl. So, but even now, like, because things will come up in the house sometimes, if you can feel like spirits or whatever, things it's just like trying to play games. So my mom would be like, and I said my grandparents, my dad, all of us, we were just taught, you get the oil and you start going through your home and you start like spiritual warfare, I think is what I'm trying to say, like being taught that. So yeah, those three things I feel like have really impacted my walk with God.
What would you do the same with your children that your parents did with you?
Whoa.
Yes. We got food at home.
We got McDonald's at home. Pyro, remember your chicken nuggets?
I think, like how Alyssa said, like all the things that we can think of that our parents did to teach us about Christ without, always having to tell us about Christ, more of how they lived their life. Like Alyssa was saying, I remember my parents 3, 4 in the morning praying loud, just speaking in tongues, praying for the people of the church, praying for the church themselves, praying for each other. I think as a parent and a spouse, I think I see the resemblance now of like, oh, it's important to pray for your spouse. It's important to also be in one accord with your spouse. And it's important to hold the traditional biblical values in your marriage. Put, God first and everything will come together, because it always has. And even when I thought there was no way of something happening, God showed me every single time that he is the way maker. And so I think that also teaching spiritual warfare, like Alyssa said, most people don't acknowledge that, and they're like, oh, it's nothing. No, it's something, and you need to pray for your home, you need to pray for your children's rooms, you need to pray for your own room, your pillows, everywhere, because where the devil gets a little inch into your home, he will make a mess, and you need to acknowledge it and rebuke it in Jesus' name, because if not, then you will see destruction in your life and in your family's life and in your children's life, and you are also a steward of your home. I think a lot of people forget that although you're a parent, you're also a spiritual leader to your children, to each other as spouses, that you need to also keep that in mind. It's not just you anymore, it's now a family that the enemy is trying to attack, because he wants to stop your bloodline. Because if he stops your bloodline, then he stops what God has planned for you and your bloodline. So
You better preach.
I don't even know what the
Come on, somebody. Oh yeah, like what we would do, right? The same. Well, if I have kids, I think one that comes to mind is I would not compromise, because let me tell you, again, my dad, even though he wasn't saved, but when he did, okay, I have to just keep reiterating that, and my mom, they did not compromise like with me. They did not like sugarcoat the truth just to make me happy. They did not accept sin just because like I was their kid. They did not compromise the things of God. So I would say the same. Like I am not going to compromise the things of God. Same with church attendance. Like I'm not going to play with my kids about church attendance. Like we're going. And so I think those two things, just not compromising.
What is the craziest thing someone told you about being a PK?
I don't know if craziest, but they would ask if our parents were the same at the church like they were at home. Like, or sometimes they'll say, oh, like, because they only got the pastoral side of my parents, so they will say like, "Oh, your parents are so nice," or your parents are so patient," or they'll say all these things. But when you would see them as your parents, it's like you would get scolded, you would get talked to. I couldn't even be Facebook friends with my dad for a long time because he was embarrassed. And he would tell me, he's like, "No, that's my reputation on the line, and I'm not gonna have you on there." But I don't think there's anything really crazy that somebody told me about them. Is it more like a gossip thing, or like
About like being a PK kid.
being a PK kid? No, I don't know. I can't really think of anything besides just things like that, which is like the normal thing, I guess. I don't know.
I can't think of anything like anyone has said specifically, like crazy about being a PK kid specifically. I have obviously encountered people who have like, I don't know how to say this other than like talk smack, right? About like my family or my grandparents, my mom, myself. And I really try not to give those people time of day, but I guess I don't know, like there's one person who I think did mention like basically what's like if someone has an issue with my mom, it's really not my business. And I disagree with that. So I told that person that, you know what I mean, there's certain things that yes, like I stay out of because her as like being a pastor and like a member or a pastor and like or just a friend to a friend or family to family. Like, yeah, I really don't get involved, but, just made it clear, like, if things get disrespectful, I most definitely will get involved because that's my mom. So another PSA. If things get disrespectful, we will be getting involved.
Yes, we will. We have our PKs committee coming up, our meeting, where we discuss and we go over a lot of these types of questions and things that we need. Yeah. Lay hands on people.
Lay hands this way.
And this way. Yes.
Upper room stop. Is this the last one?
Was that the
Or
last
second to last one?
This might be. Is there anything you ever thought was unfair for being a PK?
I feel like I kind of answered this a little bit. Just you feel like the feeling of missing out on things. Like I want to say growing up I always felt very sheltered, and I was, but I used to see it as a negative thing. And in reality, it wasn't that it was a negative thing. It was a good thing because I didn't experience a lot of what people my age at those times experienced. So I saved myself from a lot of hurt, but also as an adult, I started realizing how bad the world really was at a later age in life, which did affect me more because I was going into the world as an adult more naive and more trusting, and people wouldn't do that to me because they've never done it before, but it's because there was a shield of protection over me that I didn't really realize at the time.
I think that the expectations that like other people place on you are not for just because of like a simple title of like being like a PK or even like in a like a family like that is like kind of everyone's like in ministry. So I think the expectations that they put on you to be a certain way, or like I think how you've mentioned before, of being like exactly like your parent or like your grandparents or like your aunts or uncles or cousins, whoever. I think that yeah, it's just a comparison thing that I think is not fair necessarily to put on like other people. So I think that's the only thing that I could think of right now.
Last question.
Last one.
It's the very last one. Do you want to hear it first and then decide? How about you sit down and hear it if you don't want to answer?
Also, I do want to add, sometimes being a pastor's kid, you get put out of the club per se. Oh, you're just a pastor's kid. You can't really hang with us because she's the pastor's kid. They think that because your parents are the pastors, whatever they're doing in their life or they're talking about, you're going to go tell your parents. That's always something I remembered. That they really thought we had like that super connection, like, oh my gosh, you're never gonna believe what so and so did today at youth group, and we never were like that. But sometimes you do get that rejection from people because they think that you're better than them, or that you think you might be better than them because you're the pastor's kid. I do remember sometimes having that. Vaughn, you remember that too? So
Before you guys get to the last
That's
one,
it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna add. Well, it's in there, but I skipped it earlier. What is something you can encourage the people watching today, whether they are a pastor's kid or not? What is something you can encourage them with that not all pastors' kids are bad?
Real quick, I just realized, did it pick that up or did you?
Oh, is
I'm
it the
sure.
mic? That not all pastors' kids are bad?
Like, how can you encourage somebody that is a pastor's kid, or even if they're not, to still encourage them that PKs are not all that.
Like the perception,
Yeah, the
that people
perception,
have.
yeah.
I think that PK are not bad, they're misunderstood. There's a lot that goes into being a PK with that title in itself that most people oversee or overlook. And obviously, I don't think it's intentional, but I think that sometimes it gets a little complicated to understand unless you are one. But I think just meeting them where they are at and being okay with, obviously not tolerating disrespect or any of that, but being okay with saying, I don't understand how that feels, but I understand you feel that way, and I want to say that, we'll get through it together, or ask how can I meet you where you're at. Maybe they need a little bit more attention. Maybe you want to plan a day where just they're the main person of that day, and it's not that you're putting the congregation last, but that you're also saying, you're my child, and I want to make sure that we're going to have a good relationship as well. Because I feel like there's a big division, and of course, I know that the enemy is involved, but there's a big division and a big wedge that gets placed. And when there's a big wedge, you only have seclusion, and you only start thinking things yourself. You convince yourself, oh, well, my parents don't care about me because, if they did, they would do this. And so I feel like that's where the enemy creeps in a lot of times. But I guarantee you, a lot of us are also just trying to figure things out. I feel like we already have so many big expectations from other people, and sometimes even our parents. We're expected to act a certain way or behave a certain way, or don't act like that here, and like I said, obviously not tolerating disrespect or anything, but I also believe that there is a way you can come to an agreement. Um, I don't know. I just feel like there are definitely good intentions as being a pastor's kid, but it definitely has its challenges. We're not all bad. We go through our seasons in life as well, and just have patience with us. Um, I think I don't know how else to really explain it.
I think you did a good job. She did. I think on both ends, whether you're a PK yourself or you're someone kind of from like the outside looking in, if I could like sum it up in like 2 words, it would be remove the expectations. So for yourself, if you're a PK kid, remove the expectation for yourself to live up to whatever you think you have to. Because at the end of the day, the only expectations you should be worried, or like not worried, but striving to meet is God's, right? Is like your own walk with God. And then if you're like outsider looking in, again, remove the expectations of whatever you think or how you think a PK should be, because it just, it again, it's just about our own personal walk with the Lord. If you are like feeling concerned or you're seeing things, pray, just pray, because being critical or being judgmental, or like trying to watch every single move that somebody is making, it's not helpful. And that's actually the opposite of what the Lord asks of us to do. So I think if we all just could be more like the Lord and just pray for one another, encourage each other, and lift each other up, I think it would avoid a lot of like heartache, a lot of strife. So yeah, don't be hard. Don't be so hard on yourself, and don't be so hard on other people. Everybody's just, for the most part, like talking about like believers, right? Like people who are really trying to walk with God, people are trying their best. If they're not, pray for them so that one day they will get to really know the Lord and walk with him.
Okay, last question and most important question.
I'm so intrigued.
Yvonne's back. Guess who's back?
Is Alyssa adopted?
Oh,
my
gosh. I can't wait to hear these answers. Sister Ruth might need to come in for this one.
I don't know. I want to say she's not because her and Yvonne are twins.
Wait, but adopted by my mom and dad?
I don't know. Can you repeat the
I'm
question?
adopted by my parents. My mom and dad. Am I adopted by them?
I think so.
She was giving away what, Yvonne? Because I didn't like her.
They didn't
I was given away. Why?
because they didn't like her.
And she was
You want to come in? So here's the story, guys. This has been going on for years and years since I was like a legit kid. Everybody's involved. Apparently, if you didn't know,
even your grandparents.
even my grandparents spoke the truth at the very end. I almost said something, but I better not use my dark humor right now. Apparently, I'm adopted. Okay, so Sister Ruth, Pastor Marcos, my biological parents, they seen me and said nope, and they said I was too ugly, and they gave me away. And so then, my mom and dad are so kind and adopted me. But here's the rest of the story that people don't know. First of all, if you can't tell, obviously that's why we look alike. But that Sister Ruth and Pastor Marcos, they regretted that decision so bad. They cried and they cried and they begged and they said, God, please bring her back. You're going to leave it in. Please bring it. But yeah, we're all witnesses. Please bring her back to us, Lord, just like you did with Moses in the Nile River. Lord, send her back in a basket. And you know what? He answered there.
You have to like and subscribe and share and comment.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.